Hello everyone and welcome to Stanley Parable 2. If you saw the last video, we went through a lot of integrative stuff that the narrator wants to do to this game. To make it better or worse, we're going to see what happens. But we have a new game. It's not just the deluxe anymore, it's the Stanley Parable 2. So let's begin! Oh man, this is innovative as
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
You can skip it! You can skip it now, so you don't have to have the intro anymore. That's what they were implementing in like the last cutscene.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Well.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, sure. There's balloons and everything.
Stanley felt the bucket calling
Hey,
to him,
that door's closed now.
begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Oh!
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Dear God. Should I play with him? Should I actually have this ending happen? You know what?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
What?
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Okay. The bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
What? Oh, I could get these.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Alright, Chief. Right.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, they're just showing up.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Oh.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
If not
Soothing
for the
him,
bucket.
comforting him.
I've just imagined Stanley as the soldier from TF2, just hugging the bucket.
Reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Can I go back up? I can! Why?
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
What the heck? Oh man, this is awesome.
Here we are, said Stanley.
F3.
Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as... Perhaps the bucket had missed something.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Perhaps
cut.
it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Oh, this is gonna be nostalgic, but I have a bucket with me.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Stanley in the bucket.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped. monitored like guinea pigs.
There's an error message over
The
there.
bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Alright, let's see what happens.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
What the heck?
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Whole house.
And Stanley was happy.
This is getting good. It's getting better. It's getting really good.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Yay! Alright, we're gonna do the polar opposite.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
His left? Let's go to his right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay, I'll put myself as the,
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Whoa.
Now pick up the phone.
Hello?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
The hell? Oh, there's the bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me. Your bucket. Oh.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press C. Take it home. I'm insane.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Back to work. Oh my...
I'll
I'm
try
Stanley
anyway.
Parable.
Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press G to go back home. Oh my god.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Ignore everyone in your life except for me. What the?
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Does. Do you believe her, Rio? Don't you stand me? This is getting weird.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Is the narrator getting addicted to the bucket too? Okay.
Oh my god, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no.
God.
I'm having feelings for the bucket. No,
Oh
no. What's going on?
No,
Why do
no.
I want
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
to be with the bucket?
No.
Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this
Oh
troublesome
my
situation.
God, this is the most
Stanley,
dangerous thing.
give me the bucket. Give it to
No.
me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I
No.
need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
What the hell just happened? Oh my god.
Stanley took the door on his left to
Nope.
go back to the meeting room,
No,
said the bucket.
No.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have
Oh,
alarmed him.
crap.
Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
I didn't mean to do that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Warmth spread
It's
through
blue
Stanley's
now.
arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley pressed the
I don't
bucket
mean to
upon
kill
every
myself,
little
by the
thing in
way.
the office.
I really don't. I try to
Nothing
get us to the
responded
ramp.
to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the
The
bucket.
whiteboard ending. Okay, thank you for the whiteboard ending. Okay, let's go.
Stanley
Okay.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This
yeah.
was not the correct way
I
to the
know,
meeting
I
room.
know, I know.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Alright, let's not try to kill each other.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
What? Whoa. Hold up a sec.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of
Stanlerines and
happiness
Fig-
that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Alright, cool. Now we're in a mine shaft. Oh. Yep. Up! I didn't even hesitate.
This is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful.
What the
because
hell?
as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there? Camporata.
Camporata? The fuck? What?
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
No, I didn't. You think I'm gonna listen to a bucket?
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. How could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
I want to go through the non-bucket thing. I don't have a... And I have another human being. It's like a brother. Alright, well, we're going to learn about
Now
buckets.
then, no. I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is
It's
a
a bucket.
Simple enough, right?
Yeah.
This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Alright.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh my god. I'm going to do one more because it wants you to think that every this second.
Huh? Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Alright, you see?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
What the hell?
Is this a bucket?
Oh?
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What? What?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No, it's not a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What the hell? What is this torture?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley.
What?
Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Dear God.
Unlimited
You know what?
buckets.
I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket?
This is a bucket.
Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship
I can't even
apart.
say yes or no.
I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
No! No!
Okay, here we go.
No! I was just kidding. I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. No! Oh.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Yeah.
Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Yes.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket?
Yes, just
Oh my
retextured.
God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go. Never mind.
No.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the... And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Down. Reset this with the button. Uh-oh.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh, shoot. Talkie mushrooms. Care about you, Stanley. Oh.
You see, your
baby.
friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Even the lines here.
It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
Really?
The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee!
Oh
Look at
my
that
God.
wagon line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it
It's
played
not
some
even.
silly
It's not even called the waving line. He's just trademarking words now.
music as well.
No, please don't. I'm not going insane. I think I'm the most sane person here. This is the only reality I have left over it. So that's why I cling on to this bucket, because this is my reality. This is like, oh my God, this is reality right here. Everything else is like the back rooms and the front rooms mixed together.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
Yes.
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic
What the fuck?
now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more
don't
content
remember that.
exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
What the hell? Stanley's also addicted to drugs and hookers.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I don't want to destroy
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's
Oh my
really
God.
like 10
It's
personality
destroying the
traits.
reality.
What other object in this
Oh,
game
just-
can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't
No.
get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Explodes. Oh my god. Never turn that thing back on.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Why? Why? Do I still have my bucket? If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and go look at the other videos. And if you enjoyed, leave a like and go like and then yes, I'm not having a stroke. I swear, drunk I'm God. If you do really enjoy this, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. Thank you.